I do. I like this song, man. We're live Dave. Now. You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I had a bad day. I had a bad friggin' night, man. This is pretty good for me. I don't need no carrying on. Yes, I do. Wow.
Yeah. Turn it around and make it a good day, right?
Well, I had a different song. I was playing a different song, and Richard's like, no, play I Had a Bad Day instead of Metallica.
So, right off the bat, Dave, you see what I have on, right? It's National Bow Tie Day. You know, there's a national day for everything, right? But figure I pulled this out, you know. So, it's always nice to have a little bow tie on here and there. But National Bow Tie Day.
All right.
If you're out in the field, put it on.
I'll give it to you. National Bow Tie Day. All right.
All righty.
You're crazy. All right. Well, we changed the subject a little bit from previously. We're going to do sales, how to treat sales reps, but that's going to be tomorrow. We came up with a different show this morning, and it's called Navigating Through the Crisis and How Companies Respond, and their actions will define them for years to come.
So true.
Explain that, Richard, in 30 seconds. What does that mean?
I think the big thing now is we are in uncertain waters, so we all have to team up on everything. So these is basically a new customer. So you have a new customer, you're going in, you're both new. It's like a first date. You both have to set strategies together for 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road. Yes, you have an urgency now, but we got to plan for the future too.
Yeah, because the way you treat them. And one of the subjects that stood out to me was, amid the COVID-19 in the near future, where candidates were considering employment options, they're going to look back at the time of where they worked and consider how their prospective employer took the account on health and safety of the employees during the COVID. I don't understand that fully unless the company wasn't doing something for them, like providing equipment, or do you? Is that?
Well, I think what that basically explains, Dave, is safety is the number one thing. And it's, it's not even the COVID thing right now. I mean, there's safety about the workplace, steel-toe boots. I mean, how many times have you been in the companies and they're like, well, they're wearing tennis shoes and they're operating a forklift? I mean, if OSHA comes in, look out. So I think that's the big thing. We still have to remember that the workplace safety is the number one thing. I mean, we got to keep our workers safe, you know?
Yeah, that's hey, look who it is. It's the man. Good morning,
hey,
Steve, I'm in a better mood today, as you can see. Richard just mellows me out. I was ready to go off this morning, and he makes me play this song, Had a Bad Day. Oh, God.
Dave, you're going to play that all day today, right?
Oh, my God. Well, this one I get to get a little bit. All right. Good morning, Adil. Adrian.
Good morning.
All right. This one, I'm sorry. The employee industry inherently focuses on the future of finding the candidates to fill position in the coming days and weeks, asking clients on a forward-thinking strategy, assessing influence of the current trends. This is my favorite one because how are you going to attract the right candidates right now? I know it's a topic we've talked about a lot, but let me tell you, it's going to get serious.
It is, because you have all the companies are going to be going after the same person. I mean, there's only going to be so many people. And as we know, the economics and everything like that, if the benefits stay, we're going to have less workers till the end of the year. I mean, it's a fact right now.
Wow.
And most candidates want to make a great decision now. I mean, some are jumping, but if they have enough money to survive for that day, they don't want to make a mistake and go somewhere where they're going to walk off. And that's a big concern we all have. We want to know, is this a long-term position for them, or is it just a temporary, like a Band-Aid, right? Band-Aid till the end of the year, and then I'm going to see what else I can get.
Well, I was talking to a UPS driver yesterday, and he was telling me they're having a hard time even finding people. And I said, wow. I said, can you imagine with peak coming up? Because listen, I don't care what happens right now. People are going to spend money during the holiday season. They're going to charge their charge cards. They're going to use everything. They are going to spend money during the holiday season. Period.
You're right, Dave. And let me stop you right there. You know, right now the GDP and everything else is going skyrocketed right now. You know that people are spending. I mean, you know, even though we're in this big crisis, people are spending. So this holiday season might be one of the records in the last 5 years. You know,
that's what I mean. And if they don't do something now, and I'm breathing.
Go ahead.
I am breathing. But after talking to him, and then after going through yesterday, trying to find even some skill set trades, wow, in trouble.
It's going to take some more time now. More time, more strategy, more different ways to recruit people. And you know what the biggest thing is, Dave, right now? Word of mouth, referrals. I mean, you know, you can put ads out all you want everywhere. I always say it's like dead water right now. Look at the job boards as we talked about it yesterday and all that other stuff. You're not getting the activity like you did last year, 2 years ago. I mean, you put an ad out there, you might get 4 or 5 candidates, and that's it. And then 2 years ago, you'd get 160 in a week, right?
Yeah, well, and it comes down to even being honest. The companies have to be honest with the staffing agencies also. You both have to work as a team, because if you're not, again, you're in trouble. And I'm going to give you an example. Sorry, I'm going to say it. I don't care.
Appropriate.
When a company says you reach out to them and they say they're doing fine, you know, emails, oh no, we're doing fine staffing. It's really great. We're happy with who we have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're happy with who we have. Gotcha. Do you need any assistance? No, we're doing good. All right. And then when you wake up and then when you look, see, because that's what I know everything about on social media all around the whole Lehigh Valley. And then you see they're struggling so bad. They need workers. They have the job fairs, the drive-through. No pun intended, Steve. You're in another country or state. But why didn't you just say the truth? No, we don't want to use you or utilize your staffing company. Why wouldn't you do that? Because you just lied to me. You lied. And you're sitting out there now. I hope they're getting wet right now. Come and see this tent. You know what? I hope that tent rains right down on those recruiters.
Down. There's a solution, Dave.
I know there's a solution, but they need to be honest, because I'll tell you what, that company today, I'm going to pull those drivers. I swear to God, I'm going to run an ad and I want to get those drivers because they're cold right now. And you know what I'm talking about. If they're freezing cold. Did you like that?
Wow. Where'd that come from? Woo.
Wow. They're freezing.
Man, got some lungs on him.
Well, yeah, you know what that means, because you know what I'm going to do to them today? Are you tired of being cold? Are you tired of freezing at minus 20 degrees and you're making $14 an hour? What if I told you I could warm you up for $18 an hour and work the same hours? Would you do it? Full time, no temp service. How you like that? Done.
I like it.
All right, I feel better.
But I just want to elaborate on one thing. I think when you go into companies, and we've all done it, whereas there's 5, 6 staffing firms, we don't need any more help. This is where our genuine and our thinking outside the box comes in play. Yes, they're all staffing firms. I'm not a staffing firm.
No.
I'm Staffing Shark, Richard Rosner. You're David Wilson. You put that in perspective in an email. You hit him with some bullet points and says, so you have 5 staffing firms. Why do you have 5? I mean, is it just like you're throwing everybody in the ring? I mean, you know, the ring of fire, we might as well just say, you know, seriously.
That's the truth.
At the end of the day, it's like, so wouldn't you rather have 1 or 2? I always say you should have, if you have a big company, you should have 2 because you need a backup. 3 the max. When you still got 5, you got invoices going everywhere. That's no good. And that's bullet points that you have to put up. I mean, a lot of people just go in and say, hey, we want to be right along the side of you. I don't want to be inside of 5 other staffing firms. I want to push them to the side and say, okay, you guys could nibble everything, but because at the end of the day, what's going to happen? You're going to send in the same candidates, and and that happened. You send it first, they send it first. How do you know who sent it first? You don't know, right?
You don't know, and they fluctuate. That's in the logistics side, and I believe it's still right now with the way things are, blue collar, white collar, and we discussed that how that.
Yeah, that's another day we'll talk about.
Another day, but. You're right. To have a team, if it was from the experience that I see, is if I was looking for 100 to 200, 300 employees, or even 10, and you couldn't find them, there's nothing wrong with having partners.
No.
Agreeing, like you could bring somebody on, you don't have to utilize them, because the only time sometimes the companies want to utilize you is when they're mad or irritated at the other staffing company.
Exactly. And it happens to everybody. Every company is upset with a staffing firm throughout the year. It happens. I mean, because
you had a bad day.
You had a bad day, right? But there's a way to turn that around. I mean, the song sums it up. You got to think. You can't argue. If both argue and they both come to a punching war, but they're still going to use you, it's not going to be good business for the candidate or nothing else, because they're just going to say, give us anybody, we'll send you an invoice, and don't even talk to us. I mean, it happens all the time.
Do you think you're allowed to go back to them and say, I don't like you either? I don't like you either.
But we got to do business because you send me candidates. Really?
Yeah,
no way.
Really?
No way.
I don't like you either. I didn't want to send them because I don't like you. I don't like you. No, you try hard. You really do, because at the end of the day, you got to treat both the same way. So that's a defining navigating through the crisis. And I believe everybody's going to remember, because you're going to remember companies just like myself, how they treated people. Did I hit it? Nail on the head?
You hit it right on. And how many times have you went in as a sales rep into a new customer and he said, we had a bad experience. We had a bad day with a staffing firm. And then they tell you about it and you're like, the same old thing. And this is where the new trend is coming on. I'm so excited that throwing that stuff against walls, spaghetti's not going to stick anymore, fellas. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you, it's not. It's going to be that they're going to go and say, I'd rather have 5 people instead of 50 people standing around on their cell phone all day. And I've seen it already. Companies are like, hey, you know what? We want 30 people. You give us 10 solid ones to show up every day, we'll be happy.
That's my philosophy. I'm sorry. I agree with that, because again, just being honest with the candidates, because the other bullet point here is the right fit. Mm-hmm. Attracting the right candidates to the organization has always been the core of the industry. Tremendous amount of energy in recent years, adjustments. But what's going to define them? What are people going to look at? Let's just use Amazon. Amazon's really, listen, you see their TV shows, commercials.
Oh, they're advertising everywhere.
They are really showing, hey, look who it is. Happy rising.
Good morning,
Alexandra. She sleeps in. She got a job.
She does. I seen the video. I'm excited for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, there you go, girl.
Yeah.
You got that smiling. She's got that smiling. Then we have somebody. What does that mean? That somebody doesn't want to put their picture, right? Good morning.
They might be working at a staffing firm right now, and they're listening to the show.
Oh, why can't we promote that? Why can't we promote that?
Hey.
Why? What? If you don't want to, you know what? That's it. If you are in a staffing company and you want to comment, take your picture off.
Yep. Or DM me or Dave. DM us, we'll talk afterwards after the show. Like I said, my voicemail is always open to everybody.
But look at Amazon, how like the TV commercials, how they're, whether you like Amazon or not, listen, people give them a bad rap. I love Amazon because I love their Amazon Prime. And they're big, they're huge. But yet, when you see the videos, they're showing the workplace, how clean. They're showing the safety equipment on them. They're showing room for growth. Now, whether people agree with it or not, I know people are going to say, oh, they're horrible to work for. They're not a good company. They're a great company. Everybody has excuses.
Pros and cons with every company. There's pros and cons with UPS, FedEx. Yeah. Every company has people that's not going to be happy. So,
and they work you like a dog. They work you like a dog. Well, but like you said, but look what they're showing. They're showing what they're doing. So this is where I believe, it's going to define you, because if you're not getting out there, what's going to attract the right candidates to your business right now? What is it? Is it going to be money? Is it going to continue to be, let's take it up for $1? When is that going to stop?
You know what it's going to be? And I tell, especially in light industrial, it's work-life balance. You can't work people 12 to 14 hours a day, which I don't think after 12, I don't think it's illegal, but you can't do that anymore. I mean, people need, some days off. I know the swing shift stuff, people sometimes can't get used to that. I mean, we're in a different generation now. and then the 2 days off, 3 days off every week, but it could be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, you got to have some weekends off. I know companies have to run, but sometimes you can run lean and smart too, right, Dave? I mean, you don't have to have a bunch of people there, but you got to make the employee happy. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I know they want to say, well, you know what, this is our policy, but sometimes companies have to change, just like the employers and like we are changing too, I think. And that's a big thing that we have to talk to new customers when we go into them is,
and
hey, this is what's out on the streets now. We're seeing it. So let us help you guys out with free advice.
It is, because I'm still stumbling with it, trying to think outside the box. How do you put the customer service? How do you put people that have lost their jobs in the restaurants, the tavern? You know what I mean? There's so many candidates that want to work, but don't want to work in another, your blue collar, white collar. Again, goes back to that.
Well, if you've been in hospitality all your life, I mean, that's what you're an expert at it. And my heart goes out to them right now, because some of the companies that they work for, restaurants, are closing down for good. So they have to start all over again. But, hopefully we can get everything back, but the hospitality industries, it's flip-flopping back and forth. You're just surviving day to day on that.
And it is. And all right, so the other one, let's see, the caring approach. This will be the last one. The caring approach.
It's my favorite, man. It's my favorite, right?
Right. And I'm just going to read the short thing. And caring about the health of the nation leads us to naturally strategize about companies that need skill sets that can help the course in the future. And it raises a number of questions. How to identify and engage the worker and for society.
I think the first thing is engagement. It's I see a lot of even light industrial, Dave, now where they have it's almost like a Facebook internal where they can chat with each other, the workers, they can chat with the boss and all that stuff. At the end of the day, what do we call it? Workforce family. You got to be all on the same page. And anybody out in the cold, if you were there 30 years and you started tomorrow, that embracement should be, it's not like, well, hey, you're under me, you're going to do all this. Yes, even though you're the supervisor, we all got to work as a team, because what's the whole goal in a customer?
Win-win.
It's production, right? You want production, right? I mean,
it's just trying to show that you care. Like you said, it comes back to all those crazy shifts. And when the kids are going back to school right now, you see it online. Like some of them are doing 70-30. They're cutting back 2 days at home, 3 days at the workplace.
So what's that telling you? Work-life balance is going to be effective, because you can't have people going to work for 12 hours when their kids at home being cyber schooled, right? I mean, we have to embrace all this, and it just doesn't start with the candidate. It starts with the client too.
Well, I see some of these schedules, and then we'll wrap it up. And let's see what Andrew. Let's see. Wow. Yes, I had make pros and cons lists and figuring out my first choice out of 2 offers. At the end of the day, I had to go with the second. I realized the second one would push me a bit more and help me being humbling myself, my ego out the way to test how to handle myself under pressure.
So that sums it up right there, of somebody that got a job. She weighed both options and went with the one that she felt was the best. She slept on it. And that's what I always say, Dave, to tie this up real quick, is candidates, after I offer you a job, take a day to sleep on it, and the clients are like, did they accept? Did they accept? Let them sleep on it. And I say that because if they jump to it now, guess what's going to happen? Tomorrow, they're going to be wet feet and I'll call you back.
Yep. And she did. She took a couple days, and that's where it comes into. I always, when I get ready to tell the candidate what shifts are available, well, 4:15 to 2:15 a.m. What'd you just say? What? 4:15.
I've had that too. Get off at like 5:45 because the other shift comes in at 6 o'clock. So it's that 15 minutes where they don't interchange. But it's like, why did we get these crazy numbers that are like 11:50, 11:35? Like, and I then feel like it's football. It's like a kickoff game. 7:05 is the football kickoff on like Monday nights and stuff like that. It's like, can't we just do 7 o'clock?
I still say, because you really, and this comes back, we'll end up navigating through the crisis. What are you going to do different? What are you going to do for the employees? Have you had an employee meeting? Have you had all the employees in the break room and said, what can we do for you? What can we make a difference? And maybe you get 10 ideas and start out with one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what have we done to help you? What can we do to have you bring your friends and family to want to work for us?
So true.
What?
Here's what the companies need to do. And Dave, I'm going to throw this out there real quick. When a candidate comes in and we'll say we place somebody, what's the company usually say? They say, wow, they're just privileged to have a job. No, it's not like that. Both sides should be 50-50. We're so happy to have you. And the candidate should be so happy to have a job, just like us. Without candidates, we don't have a job. But companies have to have that mindset that, you know what, we're giving you a job because they can get a job anywhere. You got to embrace them. And that's with caring and love. Show them interest. I mean, I like when supervisors go around some of these places and they just say, they give you a fist pump and say, hey, did a great job. 5 seconds will go so far. It's just TLC, tender loving care, show interest, and I think that's the biggest thing. But also with COVID-19, we got to be, we got to tighten up everything. I mean, people are worried. I mean, you got to wear masks. You got to follow all the procedures. And I think a lot of candidates are going to look into that too if it's an unsafe environment, because they're going to bring that home to their family. Am I right, Dave? And
it is. And we talked about that with videos, and we can go into that again. We're going to wrap it up. But, I like how Alexandria said all parties need to meet each other halfway. It comes with communication and being open. That sums it up right there too, and saying it and doing it and completing it is something different. And I'm going to say one more thing real quick on a great manager. He knows who he is. He always watches, but he said the best thing to me. I always was wondering, they would make a change in 2 weeks. They would set, the company was a big company. Their team, let's try this for 2 weeks. Don't change it. Try it. At the end of the 2 weeks, every day they would talk about what has happened with it. He would be like, nope, we're not changing it. 2 weeks. Then they would meet back. And then they would say, what did we learn? Did this work? And if it didn't, now we're going to try something else in 2 weeks. And by sticking to that, I'll never forget the concept of that, because they tried something. And see if it made the candidates happy, or, just morale, being angry with them, or more stern with them, or laid back, or, you know what I mean? Different approaches.
Exactly. And I love that. What's 14 days of trying something? Do the trial. Try something for a little bit and see if it works. You don't have to put it in forever. Try. Change is the number one thing right now. And I love change. And a lot of people and companies and clients and people alone cannot change. Change. No. That's a key word. So,
I always want to say, I really do. And I won't say it to them, but I wanted to say to that company, that are sitting out in the rain right now underneath that little tent. I had to put that in there. But I always want to just say, how's it working for you? Like, how's it work? What? I like that. Brr. Do you see how the body moves?
Brr. Get out of here, man. Come on. It's like,
I know, but
it's
still.
like 85 degrees here. I'm ready to get a suntan today.
All right. I'll end it on that, and I won't be tit for tat. I'll forget about it, or else I'm going to have a bad day.
Hey, that song, keep playing it all day. Hey,
all right.
Hey, it was
Rich.
Some great topics here today.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody out there, it's all about change. And like I always say, I'm back at it. You know what? Look in the mirror and say, I love myself, so you can love other people today. It's Wednesday, so let's put the throttle down, because Thursday and Friday will be here before you know it, and the weekend will be here. So full steam ahead.
All right. Thanks, Rich. And thanks, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Talk to everybody soon. We got a great special guest tomorrow. So,
tomorrow's show, look out. We're going to have a little swag.
So here we go. All right. And we are.